Hey folks, how are you doing today? Um, so I wanted to talk about the U.S. elections here for a moment. Um, Probably a lot of you think that you have a lot to say when it comes to the results of elections, right? And that's been a very that's been a false belief that's been going around all over the world. What if I told you that 6 months ago I already knew that Biden was going to be elected? How would you respond to that? How could I know, right? There's been a lot of hints along the way, and I'm very skeptical personally, and I believe everybody should question all kinds of information and not believe anything blindly. But quite frankly, uh, I knew 6 months ago that Biden was going to be next. Um, and quite frankly, a lot of these folks that get whoever gets chosen will have to work for the same puppet master that controls the whole game. I know a lot of people would like to believe that that the president himself is in power, that that he's omnipotent, and he can make things work and disappear or make things better. But the truth is, many politicians they work for big multinational corporations that pull the strings. And when the fact that Biden was chosen by the elite is very, very clear. It was very clear to me 6 months ago. Um, so whatever you're seeing now with this whole thing about Trump trying to sue uh, Biden for supposedly fraudulent intervention in the elections, it's just another theatrical game that they're playing in order to make it look more realistic, as if, again, it was all, as if people really have anything to say about the elections. So, yep, that was my. I personally, you know, to be honest with you about Biden, I don't really like this guy. Why? Not because I just don't like him. No, for whatever, for no particular reason. But if you look at some of my videos, I've already mentioned this. I am very, very psychic. I have a lot of information, a lot of I have a lot of experience in the area of obtaining psychic information about things. And I don't like Biden. You will find it out for yourself. That's the best way to prove anything. Just like, for example, this whole scenario right now with COVID-19, I knew about it already a decade ago. But the problem is sharing information with people ahead of time oftentimes is problematic because people do not want to hear something that is completely outlandish. Like, I mean, if I told you 12 years ago about COVID-19, you probably would think I'm just some crazy person. And I already knew. And I was preparing myself already back then. But unfortunately, the whole planet is being controlled. And we can see the very clear evidence of that because pretty much almost every single government around the world is implementing all these different things that have nothing to do with virus. But that's another topic. So, yeah, Biden was elected by the elite, and they don't want Trump anymore. I mean, even if Trump was chosen, he would still have to dance and sing according to the elite and the elite's how do you call that desires. But I foresee that Biden's going to be very much like George Bush 2.0. And I think Biden is a little bit more on the side of warmongering and a bit of a scrupulous leadership. But that's for all of us to see. Don't believe anything, obviously, that anyone says blindly, including myself. But this is what I am sensing, and I tend to be pretty accurate. So time will tell. But Biden does not vibe with me very well. I mean, I truly do not like this man's energy and the way the things I pick up from him. Yeah, I mean, there are some evidence that he's been there's been some pedophilic inclinations that he has, like kissing small girls and so forth, or touching them inappropriately. Yeah, I mean, investigate this for yourself. So we are kind of looking forward to a very interesting time now, because Biden is, like I said, more scrupulous and not as population friendly, in my opinion. There was once a video where he said that he doesn't work for the American people. And it was surprising to me, because you would think that Biden would actually say something like, hey, I'm here for the American people. I'm here to make this nation great and, make things better. But this guy actually said that he doesn't work for American people, which was a bit surprising to me, because why the heck do people choose a president, right? For the president to work for them, right? But unfortunately, the way that politics are being run all over the world now, for last little while, it's turning out that politicians are interested in their own personal selfish interests and the interests of the big corporations and central banks, etc., and whatever it is above them that's pulling the strings, rather than properly serving the people. That's my personal observation. Perhaps you see it differently, but that's not how I see it. And I'm quite well traveled, and I'm quite a bit all over the world, and I see the politics both in Asia and Europe and North America, Australia, etc. And politicians really don't really care much about people. They tend to just look at their own pockets and their own interests, and they make their own promises, etc. But very rarely they really fulfill them. And more so, I mean, they tend to create more problems for the people, making their lives more difficult. So, anyways, I think that people on some level, as to Biden, I would say people on some level need to make certain conditions for the future politicians. And what that means is that people ought to consider, if the politicians do not fulfill certain requirements and certain conditions, especially the ones they promised, and people should exert more conditions and more requirements on the politicians to fulfill, then people need to get power back in their own hands and abolish such politicians out of power. I mean, we shouldn't be just being led by a whole bunch of crazy people. I mean, imagine a bus being driven by some dude who is high on cocaine and drunk on a bottle of, whiskey. I mean, he would kill everybody in the bus. But yet, all over the world, we are seeing people giving their power away to some crazy, crazy people. I mean, just take example of Hitler. Look at Hitler and look at Stalin, all these people that have been just psychotic, genocidal maniacs. Anyways, let me know what you're thinking about this, and let's have some interesting, intelligent discussion about this. And let me know what you think, where this is all going from your perspective. Maybe you've got some insights into your prospects for the future. Have a great day, be well, and stay healthy and safe.